Why isn't NATO expansion considered to be US imperialism? And I'm not supporting the Russian invasion. Like, I understand. I mean, God help Ukraine. God help you, Ukraine and Ukrainians. For real. I understand why nearby countries join NATO or want to join NATO. But that doesn't in the least offset the reality that NATO remains a tool of US imperialism. I mean, I don't think they wanted it to start with. I mean, America just ended up in World War II and developed an empire that way. At the end of it, it was just very powerful. And, you know, if it withdrew after World War II, it would have lost the level of power and influence that it gained from the victory of World War II. It was kind of a no-brainer at the time. But then they just slid into all the shit that empires do, but even more sort of dishonestly and cunningly, because it's like America could always just use its overwhelming military power to avoid actual war. It could just kind of make people do what they wanted, you know, give them choices they couldn't refuse. So it didn't look as bad as a straight up empire that's doing the war on the ground. But make no mistakes, America chooses who lives and dies around the world fucking every day. I mean, they're losing their power, but they're still extraordinarily powerful. To act like Russia wasn't provoked in some sense, in some real political sense, is ridiculous, right? And there's a kind of, I don't know if you call it liberal racism. It's certainly a kind of a liberal, ugly, bigoted tribalism to suggest that Russian imperialism is bad, but American imperialism is good. Because I really wish the people arguing for a straight up Russia bad, America good in this could be consistent, right? Essentially, this argument, like, stop denying American empire. It's undeniable. It's like obvious. It's like, you're like trying to call black white when you say the US doesn't have an empire. What you're saying when you say that it's worth risking boiling a war just below thermonuclear. Like it's worth crossing the world and fighting this war because our civilization is the best, right? This is the argument. This is the implicit argument, right? It's like Western civilization is the only legitimate civilization. This is our argument, make no mistake. Like when we laugh at Putin, or not laugh, but become hysterical or shocked or horrified or clutch our pearls at his magical imperialist chauvinistic rhetoric, ask yourself if maybe he's not only being honest. Like he's the only leader that's actually, I would say, telling the truth about what he's doing and trying to talk about the history. And I'm not supporting his historical arguments, but he's making arguments and he's talking about history. America isn't. I mean, for all this talk of war and the blood of men and the future of civilization, America will only spend the blood of its allies. Like, Putin lost honor by his invasion, but America's losing more. Because the world isn't fooled. You know, at least half the world knows what NATO is. And they know that Putin wasn't completely unprovoked in his attack. And they see what's consistent and what isn't. And all societies are honest societies. Westerners have gotten so brainwashed. Like, we're the most brainwashed people on the planet. I wish we would realize this. It's like we live in the most advanced countries. Technology brainwashes you. Our propaganda systems are the most sophisticated on the planet. I mean, I'm able to laugh at this now. It doesn't upset me and make me angry like it used to. I mean, all countries are the same at some level. It's not like Russia is good. We're evil or something. But we're not the simple good guys here. Like, all societies are honest societies in the end. you know, we compare ourselves to Saudi Arabia and shit to think that we're not like an honor society, but like there's no military or politics without honor. And without those things, you've got no border to contain what it is in your society that you're protecting that you think is so noble. Well, that is so noble. Like all societies have good in them, as well as corruption. But this sort of, like, it's almost like white supremacy. I mean, except that it's against Russians, but sort of, we sort of Asianize them at this point. We make them into Oriental despots, right? And we make it all about Putin. It's just like insane. Like, Putin didn't manifest Russia. Russia manifests Putin. Like, our political thinking is so magical. Like getting rid of Putin isn't going to get rid of Russia. And you can't get rid of Russia without a nuclear war. Like, this is insane. It's the worst problem in the world. Like, I genuinely worry if there's going to be any kind of decent future for my son. I don't know how I can stay so relaxed about this. I guess I've spent a year or two being overactivated by it. But it just seems like complete insanity to me, like the rhetoric around this. Anyway, I mean, I'm repeating myself now. I mean, God help us all, and God help the Ukrainians. Like, it's a tragedy the way, you know, the spirit, the most real part of reality is hidden. And so people like pay lip service to it all the time, but all the rhetoric erases Ukraine because this is what proxy wars do. I mean, global powers are nightmares. Nations are like beasts. It's like people keep trying to use like healthy personal morality to judge politics, and it just throws your whole compass off.